Hello dear creatives, welcome to another interesting tutorial on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the step-by-step process on how to make this Aso Oke double loop headband with a butterfly design at the back. For this design, I'm going to be needing Aso Oke fabric. I'm also going to be needing Velcro tape. I'll be needing wording. This is what wording looks like. You could use either the thick wording or the light wording. And you can decide to attach a face net to this design or a bed cage net. This is known as face net or bed cage net. I would also be needing a pair of scissors to cut, tailor's chalk, measurement tape. I would be needing appliques or trimmings. I'm going to cut out two pieces of Aso Oke, and this Aso Oke measures 22 inches in length. I'm also going to be cutting out my wording. This wording measures 19 inches. The length is 19 inches and the width is 12 inches. Now this is the light wording. The width is 12 inches. I'm also going to be needing this in two places. Now the reason I'm using 12 inches for the width is because I'm using a light wording. If you are going to be using the thick wording, you would cut out 6 inches in length. In width, let me illustrate that. You would cut out 6 inches instead. So because the length of this thick wording is not up to the 19 inches I wanted to use, I decided to go with the other wording that is not so thick. So the width is going to be 12 inches. In other words, I have to double it because it is not as thick as what I want to use or the one I want to use. So I'm going to double it like so. Can you see? Now I'm going to be folding the wording from this point to this point. So this is how I'm going to fold. So I will fold, and after folding I will get my needle and my thread, and I'm going to be tacking. I'm going to continue with the tacking until I get to the other end. When I get to the other end of the wording, I'm going to tie the thread and then I'll cut out the excess thread. I'm also going to be repeating this same procedure for the other wording I cut out. So I folded and tacked the other one off camera. Now I'm going to set one aside. I will take one of the 22 inches Aso Oke fabric and one of the wording, and I'm going to place it like so. Now I'm going to be folding to get my loop design. So this is how you fold. Please endeavor to fold this neatly, just as you see me do in the video. Next, I'm going to get my pins and I will pin it down at this point. So to secure the edges, I'm going to pin it down. Then after, I will take it to the sewing machine and then I will stitch. I'm also going to repeat that for the other Aso Oke fabric and the wording. So after stitching both fabric, this is what I have. I'm going to cut out the excess frilling edges. Please do not cut out everything, just cut out that part that is frilling. And this is it. Now I'm going to place them on each other like so. Then I'm going to be tacking them together. So you can either use your needle and your thread to tack, or you take them to your sewing machine and then you tack or stitch them together. After tacking this part, I'm going to go over to the other side and I'll tack as well, and then I'll cut out the excess thread. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll cut out a piece of fabric to cover up the rough edges. This fabric measures 7 inches. I'm going to divide it into 2 halves like so. Now I'll fold the frilling edge of the fabric like so. So I'm going to cut out that part that is frilling and then I'll fold it. So you can fold once, and after folding you are going to take this to your sewing machine and you stitch. So basically we are going to be folding in that part that is frilling and then we are going to stitch. So once I'm done stitching, I'm going to be using the fabric to cover one of the fabric to cover this part, and I will use the other one to cover the other part as well. To do this, I'm going to be needing my hot glue gun. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, I'll be needing my hot glue gun to seal up this part neatly. You can also tack, or you can go ahead and tack with your needle and your thread. And if it is possible for your machine, if it's possible to stitch this with your machine, if it is not too thick for your machine, then you can go ahead and stitch with your machine, or you use your needle and your thread. But please, when you are using your needle and your thread, you don't want your thread to be visible, so you have a neat finishing. So once I'm done covering this part neatly, I'll go over to the other end or to the other side, and then I will use the other Aso Oke cut out to cover it up neatly. And after covering both sides, I'm going to set my work aside. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll cut out another piece of fabric. This fabric measures 30 inches in length and the width is the width of my Aso Oke. Now I'm going to be folding in the frilling edges like so. So I'll fold once and I would also fold again neatly. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch. I will also fold the other end of the Aso Oke, and then I'll take both to my sewing machine and stitch. After stitching, this is what I have. Now I'm going to be folding the Aso Oke from the middle, or you fold and you use your hands to smoothen it out, just as you see me do in the video. And then I'll fold in this part as well. So I can use my pin, or you can use your pin to hold it down at this point so you can fold the other part neatly, after which we are going to stitch. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to be stitching. So first I will stitch this part. I'll stitch it down to the other end. Then you may also want to stitch this part, and after stitching, this is what I have. Can you see? Now I will take my Velcro tape. This Velcro tape measures 4 inches in length. So I will take one side of the Velcro tape and then I'm going to stitch it down. You place it on the fabric like so. You are going to stitch down. Then you are going to place the other on it like so. So you just watch closely so you understand this part. Can you see? You place it like so and you place the breadcrumb tape on it like that, and then you are going to stitch. Please do not stitch it down to the fabric. You are going to stitch it separately like so, such that after stitching we'll be able to place both Velcro tape together. So this is it after stitching. Now we are going to be attaching this to our work, but before we attach it, we don't want to make mistake. We don't want to just go ahead and attach it. So I'm going to use my pins to hold that down. Can you see? So I will get my pins and I will use my pins to hold it down. So before you pin, you want to use your hand to arrange this to get that round shape, and then you pin. So before we attach this part that we pinned down, we are going to be attaching this part down, or we are going to be attaching this part to the other side like so. So if it is possible for you to stitch, you can take to your sewing machine and stitch. If yours is not too thick and if your machine needle can stitch this, then you can also stitch the other part. But I'm going to be using my hot glue gun to gum it down. You are also going to use gum to gum the other side down. Now to further secure this, I would use my needle and my thread to tack. Please endeavor to tack neatly, and you are going to tack in such a way that the needle and the thread will not be visible. After tacking neatly, I'm going to be attaching both loop together. So I'll get my needle and my thread. I'll be using my needle and my thread to do this because I want a neat finishing. If you use your gum, you may not get the best results. So I'm going to be using my needle and my thread, and this is how I'm going to go about it. So you want to tack neatly. If you have made it this far to this part of the video and you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please endeavor to click that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell to get notifications whenever we upload new videos. If you would be interested in learning more on different types of headwears like fascinator, art making, turban and auto gele, we have detailed online classes for interested participants. To participate in the training, send a WhatsApp message to the number on the phone screen or click on the link in the description box to join the Telegram group. I'm going to tack this down neatly to the other end, and then I'll cut off the excess thread after tying. Next, I'm going to be attaching this part. So first I'll cover this up, and then I'm going to be attaching this part to the loop design. I'll get my hot glue gun. I'm going to be doing that with my hot glue gun. I'm going to apply my hot glue gun generously, but please, you have to be careful to avoid gum stains at this point. So this is how you are going to apply your hot glue gun. After applying the hot glue gun, I'm going to place it on it like so. So I will keep applying the gum to attach it, and once I'm done, this is what I have. Now I'm going to set this aside, and the next thing we are going to be doing is to create the bow design we are going to be attaching to the back. To do this, I would be cutting out 2 pieces of Aso Oke fabric. The fabric measures 21 inches in length. I'm going to be needing 2 of this. Now I'm going to fold the Aso Oke fabric. You're going to fold just as you see me do in the video. Please, you have to fold this down neatly. After folding, you are going to take to the sewing machine and stitch down neatly. I'm also going to do same for the other piece of fabric. After folding, I'm going to use my hands to turn this inside out like so. I'm also going to get the other fabric and turn it inside out. Then I will get my measurement tape and measure this. This measures 10 inches for the length, and the width is 5.5 inches. So we are going to subtract half an inch from both the length and the width. and I will get my thick gum stay. This is known as gum stay. So I'll place my measurement tape on it, and then I will mark at 5 inches. You know, on the Aso Oke, we are able to measure at 5.5 inches for the width, and the length was 10 inches. So on the thick gum stay, I'm going to mark at 9.5 inches, 9.5 inches for the length, and the width is going to be 5 inches. So in other words, we are going to subtract just half an inch from both the length and the width to enable us insert the thick gum stay into the Aso Oke fabric neatly. And this is how you are going to insert it. We are also going to repeat same procedure for the other Aso Oke fabric, and then we are going to fold. So after inserting the gum stay, this is how you are going to fold. After folding, I will get my needle and my thread, and then I will tack down neatly. I may want to fold again to get a neat bow design. If you are getting value from this video, please endeavor to comment on this video and also give this video a thumbs up. I'm also going to get the other fabric and I will be forming the bow design with it. I'm going to get the other bow and I'm going to be using my needle and my thread to attach the two bows together. I'm going to cut out a piece of Aso Oke fabric to cover up this point, and I'll fold the fabric like so. So before I fold, I'll get my measurement tape to measure this. This measures about 5 inches to 6 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to fold. You're going to fold in such a way that the fraying edges will be inside, like so. And then you take it to your work, and you are going to be using your needle and your thread to tack down neatly. Next, I'm going to be attaching the bow design to my double loop design. And to do this, I'm going to be needing my needle and my thread. So I will get my needle and my thread and I'm going to tack that neatly. So I'm trying to tack in such a way that the thread will not be visible. So you're going to take your needle and your thread in, and then you're going to bring it back from that same point like that. So after tacking, this is what I have. Next thing, or the last thing we are going to be doing, is to cover up this part with our applique, or we are going to use trimmings. I'll get my B6000 gum. You can as well use your UHU gum or your B7000 gum. After applying the gum, I'm going to place the applique or the trimmings on the bowl design. If you got value from watching this video, please endeavor to give this video a thumbs up and also comment on this video. So this is the finished look of the double loop design with the butterfly design. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.